Okay, here we go. Excuse me. 24th of Iyar. So this, of course, is Shabbos Mevorchim, Shabbos Mevorchim Sivan. And we say the entire until until in the early morning. We forbring during the day. At Shlishi, the Torah reader says the brucha without being called to the Torah. We do say Av HaRachamim, which we don't normally say on Shabbos Mevorchim, but we do say it on this one. And down to the teaching for today. If you go to my statutes, this is parts of Bichul Kaisai, right? This year they're joined together, of course, for Har Bichul Kaisai. So it says, if you will walk in my hukim. So our sages interpret the word if as a plea, like if only, please walk in my ways. Yeah, as in the sense of if only you would go walk in my statutes. God's pleading, as it were, with Israel to keep the Torah in itself. And this pleading, wanting, desire of Hashem aids a person and gives him the ability to remain steadfast in his choice of the good. Moreover, what's he pleading? Walk in my ways. The soul then becomes a mechalik. You walk, mehalach. Also, mehalach means halacha, right? How do you walk in his ways? By walking the walk, which is the walk is halacha, halicha, halacha, walking in halacha. With the advent of Mashiach, there will be revealed the superior quality of the traits of simplicity. Peshitus, that's the word in Hebrew, peshitus. No complications. Simplicity. And wholeness, temimos, which is found in the avoid of simple folk who daven and recite Tillim with simple sincerity. Halavai, we should be simple and not complicated, not complicate the thing. Okay. Lessons in Tanya. Page 772. And Likutei Morim. Likutei Morim. Yes, page 142. It's right about in the middle of the page. The line begins, Vahine. Okay, we were talking about a little bit of an issue, a seeming issue. The soul, like Hashem, is one, and yet there emanates from him 613 powers, and those 613 powers of Hashem are reflected in the 613 body parts. So how does one become 613? So, concerning the drawing down of all the 613 kinds of powers, vichayas, and the life force, divided up into 613, mehahelam hanashama el aguf, from the concealment, and the neshama, meaning the neshama doesn't reveal 613. We use the word pashat. This neshama has a light and energy, but it's an or pashat. And however, from it come out rays, which are 613 rays, which are a particular ray of particular chayas for each of the 613 body parts. To enliven all the body. So on this it has been said, that the main indwelling, Shechina, that word Mishkana is the lesson of Shechina. Shechina is the divine presence, and Shechina is the presence of divinity within each and every one of us. So the main, the place where this all starts with the Nefesh Elokis is in the head. And in the head is the simplicity, the other non-differentiation of all the powers which will be differentiated as it comes out from the head. And each limb and organ will receive just the right amount of highest, I mean, simple terms, this is just nervous energy, the electrical energy that goes down through the nerves. That's just the right electrical energy into the nerves that have to do with enlivening the particular, each individual body part. Each part, each one according to the way it's built and its structure. Shehen Chabad. Now, in the brain, what's the structure? Chokhmah Bina Das. So this simple, again, it's interesting, we had our word in the Yom Yom, the Mila, the advantage of Peshitas, right? Simplicity, meaning here and there, not complicating it, not differentiating it, absolutely oneness, right? But it then begins to emanate, first in the head, Chabad, Chokhmah Bina Das, and the power of machshava as it comes lower, that the person is able to think, and all the things that are relevant to brain power. Not only this, also in that simplicity, which first manifests itself in a triad of Chokhmah, Bina, and Das, there is latent and then actually expressed the power of the life force for all the other limbs, Gamke also. And they're Kalula Umalabeshbis B'Moichin Shibirosh. And initially, they are included in and included in the brain, in the head. B'Sham Hu Ikra B'Shorsha Kol Hamshacha Zu. And there in the brain is the root of the, and the source of all the Hamshachas, of all the drawings down, the Bechinas Gili, which will come into revelation of Gili Or, revelation of light, the Chayas and life force, shall call Hanashamas Klulu, of the entirety of the expressiveness of the soul. Umisham, and from there, Mispashetis Order Lishar Kol Evorim, and from that simple unity, there effuses rays of Chayas, which is, as I said earlier, translated the power that's embedded in the nerves, the nervous system, to bring chayas to all the limbs and organs of the body. Umakabel kol echad, and each and every limb or organ receives a koyach v'chayas haroiloi, a power and a life force which is proper for that particular limb or organ. According to the constitution and the design of the organ. The power of seeing. You know, we're saying these are specific powers. There's a power in the soul that's at first ultimately b'peshitas, you don't see it, and then particular powers come out. So there's a power of the eye which is designed for the eye, not for the ear. So the power of seeing is revealed in the eye, and the power of hearing is in the ear. And all the powers, all the life forces, and the individuated life force that's fitting for each and every limb and organ originates in the brain. As is known. Because that's where the root and dwelling place of the neshama is. This word mishkan is the same word as shechina, shachen. And that's the way that operates in the body, and this same structure is echoed in how Hashem operates everything else. Bebechinas gilui. So the power comes from ultimate pshita, simplicity, into a particularity which is designed for each particular organ, and then it comes bebechinas gilui. It's revealed. And there ultimately is revealed all the life force that's enclosed in the simplicity of the soul in the first place. But the power and the all-inclusiveness of all the chayas, of all the life force, that all-inclusiveness, which is in the root of the soul, is mishmish, is mamshich. That's also the same word. Hamshocha, mamshich, shechina, is drawn down. Misham, from that root of simplicity, the kol evre haguf, to all the limbs of the body, b'dimyin ha'or hamispashet u'mer ha'shemesh, similar to the light of the sun, which is drawn down to each and every receiver in its specific form. I mean, it's a very good mashal, right? The sun is a luminous body. There's one light shining from it. Yet, in that oneness is something that's particular for the blade of grass, something particular for the animal, etc., and the subspecies of grasses and animals, and etc. So, in the simplicity, in a hidden way, is lodged all the singularity and multiplicity. So that's true of God. It's also true of our neshama. This is, we're made in God's image. So the light of the soul is mispashit umer mehashemesh, just like the light of one singular sun is spreads out from the sun. Lahadir chadorim, he says, into many rooms, right? So this is a slightly different way of looking. You have a house, and the sun in one sun, and the light is divided up into different rooms. Or if this is also, if you have different curtains, the keli makes a difference, right? The keli that the light is going through makes a difference, and you have different colors. So from Peshitas, that's the point, from ultimate Peshitas, simplicity and singularity, and in that Peshitas and singularity is the source and root of the multiplicity, and the multiplicity shines when the sun or God emits rays in a particular way, which when we speak about God, that's called the tzimtzum, where each vessel has a power to take that light in particular ways. And he says in this bracket here, v'filu halev, even the heart, which is the general place of emotion, mekabel mehamoyach, right? After all, the heart receives from the brain. If the heart were not receiving the nerve energy that it needs to beat, well, we know what would happen. So yes, the heart, and you could say the foot doesn't look like a brain, and the heart doesn't behave like a brain, but they all are owing to the brain. So just like each world, its Hilas Bri, its Yunasir, are very different worlds, but they're all owing to the ultimate simplicity, simple light of the Or Ein Sof. So each body part of us down below, and each, if you could say such a thing, body part of Hashem up above as he manifests multiplicity, is makabel from the brain, is makabel from that central, I call it the CIA, the Central Intelligence agent. And that's why we come back to the first principle of the Tanya, moyach shalit alalev, that the brain rules over the heart. The toldoisai, as that's the way a person is designed. Now, as we said above, back in chapter 2, 3, I'm not sure, but way back when. And that's today's Tanya. To know that you have the allness of everything within you. And Baruch Hashem, it gives you the ability it gives the ability for each and every organ that's a part of your body to absorb elokus, to absorb godliness. Okay, any comments or questions or opportunities?
This is just a comment, but I, for myself, have been working on identifying which thoughts come from the mind and which thoughts come from the heart. I don't personally, I don't always know what's a feeling and what's a thought. So,
Well, they're very interrelated, as you said. The heart has no life without the brain, and the brain has no life without the heart. Right? The brain gives the nervous system to it, the ability of the heart to be a heart and to contract, and the heart gives the blood to the brain so that the brain can operate. So it's not surprising that you don't necessarily know distinction between the two.
it's something to work on.
Yeah, a heartfelt thought or or a feeling that's informed by the mind. You know, it goes both ways. Heartfelt thought and a feeling that's born from contemplation and meditation, which is mindfulness. Yep. Baruch Hashem that we have that. I mean, would it be not so pleasant, I think, to just be brainy and to be ruled only by the vagaries of the heart would also not work. So, the brain rules over the heart. I mean, why we're emphasizing the brain? Because without the brain, on the other side of life, which we don't have, we're not going to mention the word for that. How do you determine whether a person is alive? So there are two points of view. When the heart is, as long as the heart is beating, or as long as the brain is effusing. So they're both essential to life, of course.
And I heard that they're both compared to the Even Hashtia. They both give water to the earth.
Okay, I haven't heard that.
Blood
That's
or
good.
herbs. I
Okay.
also learned from, I'll just share if you don't mind, this is connected. There's a rabbi called Dovber Cohen. He's based in Yerushalayim, and he went from Buddhism to Judaism, is his claim to fame.
Buddhism to Judaism. I
Yeah,
like that.
6 years in Sri Lanka or whatever, an English guy from London.
Mm-hmm.
And he teaches now these meditation classes. And he said that thoughts are like logs to the fire of the heart, the feeling. So if the heart is a fire, you feed it with your thoughts.
Okay, beautiful.
If it's a
Beautiful.
thought,
Yeah.
then you want to add logs. And if it's not a good thought, then you want to the thoughts and just feel the feelings and let them pass through and let the fire, he said you don't want to put a blanket over it because then it'll come out in different places. It'll catch fire. You don't want to stifle it, but you want to just feel through it, breathe through it or something.
Okay.
Thank you
Mishkayach.
for sharing.
Any other comments? Questions? Okay. So have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow in Mir Hashem.
Thank you.